Today I posted in social media my update of my mini cut that I have been doing for the past 31 days. Today's day 32. So, what I wanted to share today is that I really know and believe that the way that I think about my nutrition, my fitness, my overall fit lifestyle is practically day and night compared to years ago. And if you just met me, hey, I'm Anna. Welcome to the show. I had my transformation back in 2017 and 18, my full body physical transformation where I lost 60 pounds of fat, got strong, built muscle. And I have been maintaining a lean, strong physique for 8.5 years, almost 9 years now. And recently, I did this mini cut. I've been doing this mini cut. And basically what that means, if you're not familiar with it, it just means that I put myself in a slight calorie deficit for a short period of time. Or I just want to shed a few pounds, hopefully. But not even shed a few pounds, but just shed some fat really is the whole goal. And so that's not always going to reflect on the scale. But I wanted to shed a few pounds of fat. Few being like 2. And that may not sound like a lot, but when you're already lean, it actually does make a difference. But that's not what I want to talk about. Today, I really want to pull back the curtain on not the strategy of how I did it, because you know I've been talking about that for years. I coach and train and educate and teach on how to do the scientific method behind lasting fat loss. But today I want to talk about something I don't think I spend a lot of time talking about, and that has to do with how I think about it. What was the process I went through during this mini cut? And so since I don't really share a whole lot of what's happening in my mind throughout this 30 days or however long I put myself in a mini cut, I thought today would be a great day for me to share what's going on in my mind. And I think this is the part truly that matters the most. So let's get into it. Hey girl, welcome back to another episode of Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being a dedicated listener. So good to be with you today. I'm not going to do any real lifey updates. I don't think, we got baby dog sleeping in the crib behind me. She's being really good right now. And if you've been following me on social media, I don't know. We're caring for Sadie now. Sadie was my mom's dog, and she had to have eye surgery. They removed her right eye. Today's day 3 post-surgery. She's doing pretty well. So I won't get into that. But as you can probably imagine, training a puppy and life with a puppy and her schedule, she does have naps, and then taking care of a post-op puppy, our dog. She's a little Boston Terrier with a post-op surgery on her eye. And then, of course, all the other daily responsibilities and personal things going on. It's been a lot. And I know I'm over here basically preaching to the choir because I know you also have a ton of stuff happening in your life. So I know you get it. So there you go. Lifey updates. And thankfully, Country Boy and I, we're rolling with the punches together. We're such a great team, and he's amazing. He's been such a great support and encourager, especially during this season in my life. But what I want to talk about today, I really do hope that something in here today helps you if you're on your fat loss journey and you have, maybe been lax, kind of getting off course, or you wanted to try a calorie deficit, or you've done this before. You understand the strategy. You know the scientific approach to your fat loss when it comes to calories, calorie deficit. But beyond that, there comes a place where we do really need to become aware of our thought processes, how we think about things and what we believe, because all of our beliefs are what's prompting our behaviors. And so if we're not consistent in our behaviors, we're going to believe that we just don't have consistency. We don't have it in us. And then we will quit. Or if we believe that the process that we're doing isn't working, then we are not going to continue. So you see, I did talk a little bit about beliefs last week. But I think that I want to just share with you my process going through the mini cut that I did recently that I'm still doing. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But the thought processes that I have gone through, and I want to share with you my own personal experience in this past 30 days. Like I said, I've done mini cuts before, and I think they're all different. This one was particularly different for me when I compare it to several of the ones I've done in the past. I've done this many times, so I know how to do it. I know my body. I know what's going on. But I will tell you, there were some moments in this 30 days that I was like, what's going on? What's up? Because this is different than it has been in the past. And we're always going to compare what we're doing now to the past, oftentimes anyway. What does the past matter? A lot of times it doesn't. We can learn from the past, but we don't want to base our present and our future and our strategic plan going forward just on the past. We want to take the lessons we've learned from the past, the things that are great, bring those with us, but not, the old things that don't serve us. But I digress. So I do want to share, because today I did a post and I shared all about my progress, quote unquote. What happened, really? I don't even like to call it, my progress as much as what happened in this 30 days. Because to me, it's so interesting to me because recently I have started to create, I'm working on what's called the 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset. The 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset. Say that really fast 5 times. Rockstar Rewired. I've been wanting to do that. Rockstar Rewired Reset. Anyways, and what this is it's a culmination of things. It's me, everything I have learned as a coach through the years with, thankfully, my wonderful, beautiful rockstar clients, myself, my own experiences, and what I have observed by so many women that have been struggling with their fat loss and trying to build a fit lifestyle and trying to shed fat and keep it off and struggling to stay consistent and having a tendency to start over. They go strong for a while and then they start over. But what we need is we don't need more motivation. We don't need more discipline. We don't need, necessarily more accountability. What we need is to understand how our brain is wired. Now, there's some truths and there's some science, neuroscience behind it all, of course, always, that is similar. Like we all have, a lot of the same things happening, neuroscience, in the biology of our brain. But we all also have our very individual things going on in the wiring of our brain. So, and this stuff always has fascinated me since the beginning of time. It's not new to me. It's just that I've decided to really lean more and more into this because what I have noticed is that while you can have the best program, you can have the best nutrition plan, meal plan, fitness plan, but then if you are not able to follow through and stay consistent and stay in the long game and keep going, and then you go off track and then you start over, then what is the goal? What's the point of these great nutrition plans, the strategy that really works, what is the point if we don't have the wiring fixed? Not fixed, I shouldn't say fixed. I don't like using that word. But when we have not adjusted and had some mind shifts in the way that we believe and think. If we don't do that, then nothing will ever stick. And we won't get the progress, the goal. We won't hit our goals, get the results that we desire. And we definitely will not. You might get some results, but you won't be able to maintain them because your wiring and the default setting and the programming of your brain, your mind, is still stuck in old wiring. So I'm saying all that. I kind of digress, but not really, because all of this is part of it and why I wanted to share my thoughts about what happened in my 30-day mini cut. But all that to say, in the show notes, If that's you and you're like, man, I really want to better understand why I do what I do, because I want to do this, but I always end up not finishing, or I'm not consistent, and you're struggling with starting over, or procrastination, all these kind of things that have gotten in the way and caused this like roadblock for you over and over. If that's you, let's break through. I want you to have a real breakthrough. So I'm inviting you to get on the priority list so that you'll be first notified when I open the doors for enrollment for this 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset. This is new. This is going to be new. I'm taking limited number of women in this, and so spots are limited. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's new. So it's a beta, and I just want to keep it to a certain number of people this first round, because it's kind of an experiment and you're going to help me. And so get on that priority list if that's you. I know that the things that we're going to go through are going to help you see things that you never even thought were there, and you're going to break through it, and you're going to have some real breakthroughs that are going to help you in your own fat loss journey. Some lasting change that's going to happen. This is going to be a great way to get started in this. So get yourself on priority list. Now let me get back into this. Drink some water, girl. Cheers. Chug the jug. So as I'm reflecting, I have to say that my thinking obviously has changed over the past, 8.5 years. I've been maintaining a fit physique. And so why am I doing a mini cut, right? I think I learn something every single time. We always learn something when we do a process or when we do something new or whatever. And so this time around gave me some interesting insight, because I've been thinking so much about the women that I coach and the struggles and challenges that they go through. And somehow my mind has just been really a lot more focused and aware on the thought processes that are going on in my own mind. And I'm going, oh, I wonder about, the ladies that I coach. I wonder if they think this. I wonder if they had ever thought this and why I think this way. So this is one of the reasons why I'm so compelled to, share this with you. So why? The question is, why do I want to do a mini cut? I mean, I'm fit, I'm strong, I'm healthy. I don't need to lose weight per se, right? But why did I decide to do it? Because I don't have weight really to lose, and I'm very happy with my body right now, even if I don't do a mini cut. But I just wanted to kind of get back to a range where I feel personally my best. I wanted to have a little more leanness for myself. And, a side note, that is a very personal and individualized decision. So I'm saying that because I want you to know that whatever your personal goal is, and make it your personal goal. Like, just because you're seeing women, on social media, you're seeing some of these very fit, defined women, right? And some of it's AI for obviously, or they're, photoshopped or whatever. AI is doing a lot of work these days. The point I want to make is that we're just real women. I mean, we're normal, everyday women. We're not, doing this whole competitive thing to cross a stage. I mean, if that's you, great, awesome, great. That's a sport that you're into. But most of us, and the women that I work with, we have busy lives. We have families. We have, full-time jobs and careers, and a lot of responsibilities on our plate, and like a lot going on. And, that's not our sport. And so I'm saying this because I don't want you to ever feel like you need to look at somebody and compare your journey with anybody. It's your body as an individual. It's your goal. And if you want to lose that last 5 to 10 pounds of fat, that's your choice, and you absolutely can do it. If you want that, there isn't anything wrong with wanting that, is what I'm trying to say. And we were just talking about this on a coaching call yesterday. If you want that, that's great. And okay, if I'm being honest with myself, I want that a little bit too. I like that. One day I am going to be a lot older, and I may not, my skin's going to continue to age, right? All of us. But, and I could say, well, I'm just doing it for the health reasons. But no, because even if I continue to strength train all through my, old age, my body is still going to look better than it would if I didn't. So of course I'm going to keep on. I do care. All right. So that's why I wanted to just kind of shed a little bit of fat. I do like a more like lean, defined look for myself, and no apologies there for that. Because as I look back over these last 30 days or so, I wasn't thinking about that stuff. I was just focusing on the process. So let's go into it. Because I really want to go into what I was thinking about during the process of the 30 days. So let's walk through this experience. I made my simple plan. It's always very simple. Girl, I'm telling you what, fat loss is very simple. And I'm always going to keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. And if it's complicated, then who's going to finish through? Who's going to follow through with that, right? It's got to be simple. So I chose my simple plan. My simple plan is I basically put myself in a slight calorie deficit, and then we rock and roll. Print out my consistency calendar because, girl, you can bet I am going to track my consistency. Why I do it is it just really helps me, especially halfway through the month, halfway through the 30 days, or, a 3/4 in. It really helps me to see how consistent I'm being, and can I afford a day where I go over my calories. It's just like when you're spending money, right? Like you're looking ahead and you're like, well, can I spend the money now? No, I have to wait. Or yeah, I've saved up enough money. And I'm not saying like save up all your calories. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like I wanted to be a certain percentage of consistency of hitting my calorie target throughout the month. So if I'm, 3/4 through the 30 days and I see, I've gone over my calories twice in this 17 days, I can decide with that information and that data, do I want to go over my calories today? It's kind of like I have a choice. I've got the power to do so. And I know what's going on because I know what's going on with my consistency. If I didn't track that, I wouldn't know, and I'm just be more likely to go over my calories. And I would be more likely to go over my calories more frequently, and then my consistency would just be like, down the drain, right? So I do track my consistency because I love to know how consistent I'm being. It gives me power over whether I'm going to go over my calorie deficit on a certain day or not, or whatever's going on in that 30 days. But the other big thing for me, and I know that this is for all of us, we have this little kid in us that's like, gets to see, the stars we're getting star streaks, across the week. Every day I'm getting a star for the day that I hit my target the day before. And as elementary and silly as that might sound, it is very motivating to our brain. So why not use that to our advantage? All right. And I knew that life was still going to happen. I've got a lot of lifey. Life is lifing for me in a very big way. And so I knew, but I'm not here to show up perfectly. I'm doing it consistently, but also knowing, I'm doing this 30 days, but I don't know for certain. None of us knows for certain. Are we going to be able to hit our calorie target every single day? I don't know. Things come up, right? All I have control over is today. Those are the thoughts that I have in my mind when I'm setting out with my plan. So I chose my calorie deficit. I knew life was going to happen. I was going to track consistently. That was my plan. And then what happened over this past 30 days or so, I went over my calories 4 of those days. But even on the days that I went over, I tracked everything. This is very key. Some women won't track on the days that it's too hard, or they're really, really busy, or they got to get away. And then it's like, okay, are you in a fat loss phase? Great. Know that. Just take full responsibility and manage your expectations. If you don't track on those days, yes, you went over your calories, but 4 days out of 30 days of going way over your calorie deficit can impact whether or not you are going to actually lose fat. Just facts. This is not about judging. Anyways, I went over for 4 days on my calories. It was not significant. And what we look at is averages from week to week. We're not looking at, that particular day. I logged those days. So it's important that you log everything accurately as you can, because life's going to happen. Even we're going to have getaways. We're going to have going out to eat sometimes. We're going to have any number of things, having get-togethers, people coming over, a birthday party. Stuff happens, things go on, and yes, you can stay in a calorie deficit, or you can still live life and enjoy a little bit and go a little over your calories and still make progress, still get some results at the end of that 30 days. So for me, I wrote this down. I was like looking at my month. I'm like, what was it? What were those 4 days? Why did I go over my calorie deficit? Because there was the 4th of July get together. We had the family and we went over. So 4th of July, I don't even remember what it was. It could have been the Lord's chips. Probably. I was probably eating more chips. Some sweets, who knows? I can't remember right now. But there was that. I went out to eat for a birthday party. And then this one was very significant for me. Country Boy and I went on a getaway. We went camping, biking, but that wasn't the thing. I was actually very accurate with my food through that weekend. But it was that Friday that we were going to leave was a very emotional day for me. Things are going on in my life, and I'm handling some legal matters in my life, and really handling a little, some grief about my mom's death and all of that. So I was emotionally eating. And here's the thing with the emotional eating, and you can look back at the last couple of episodes I talked about emotional eating. I don't have a pattern of that, so I wasn't beating myself up, but on that day, I definitely went over my calories, and I tracked it all too. Then the other one was just recently, 2 days ago, we did Taco Tuesday. Haven't had a Taco Tuesday in a long time. And you would think, well, shoot, Taco Tuesday shouldn't be very much. Well, no, it depends. If you eat guacamole, if you eat a lot of avocado, if you eat a lot of chips. What else was putting me over on that day? I don't remember, but avocado, guacamole, girl, give me all the guacamole. So my Taco Tuesday put me over on my calories. But I logged everything. I logged all of it. Some of it, again, do as accurately as you can, but that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm here to do this consistently and trusting the process, because I know that I've done this before and it works. So I collected the data without judging myself. This is something that I've been doing for years. In the past, when I was tracking everything, I would judge myself. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have eaten that. And oh, that was bad. This was good. Oh, that was good. That was bad. We cannot be, having these highs and lows and emotions of it. This is just the data. And that's the difference in how I do things today. Like how consistent, how am I, it's what I do most of the time. It's not that one meal. All right. So years ago, I would have definitely attached emotions, especially to those 4 days, because I wasn't perfect. But today, I just see it as a part of being human, part of living life and enjoying my life. But we have to manage our expectations. If we don't track our food, we have no data. That's not right or wrong. It just is what it is, right? That's the facts. We don't have data. So we have to manage our expectation. We cannot expect that we're going to get the results that we want if we don't have any data we don't have any data proving that we were accurate. I mean, sure, you could probably still be in a calorie deficit not knowing your data, but we have to manage our expectations is all I'm saying. What else? Watching the scale. Here's a big one, because the scale is just one form of measure. Drink some water with me. Cheers. So the scale for me, this was a very interesting part of my 30 days in my mini cut this time around. In the past, it hasn't been so much of a big deal. And it's not that it was a big deal this time, but it's something that stood out to me because this was the first time that the scale wasn't moving for 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks. I was hovering around 150 pounds. And it was like, what is going on? This is odd. And I started thinking, like, is it my hormones? Like, we always want to start thinking that. Yeah, see, I'm human. I have these thoughts too. 2 weeks. But then I had to get really let's keep going. Let's keep on going and see what's happening. Because in that 2 weeks, and actually in this whole 30 days, my activity level was way way low. In fact, I can accurately tell you that my activity level has gone way down in the past few months, just based on everything that's been going on in my life. It's a season that I'm going through, and that's okay, especially when I'm just aware of it. So I'm like, better start bumping up those steps. Let's do that, right? We don't want to rely on activity for fat loss, but in my case, and my desire to shed some fat and get a little leaner, I'm going to have to put out a little more energy with this. Otherwise, we don't want to like lower calories, because my calories are already low enough. When I look at what my BMR is, my basal metabolic rate, I don't want to be doing that. That's not healthy. So the scale was staying around 150, give or take, hovering there for 2 weeks. And I don't know about you, but most of the women I coach, after 2 weeks, nothing budging, that gets on your nerves. You get frustrated, and that would frustrate me in the past, but I knew I needed to keep going. Here it is. If you are trusting the process, if you are actually taking the action, the actionable steps each day in a strategy that you know is evidence-based fat loss approach, you can trust the process. You can continue to trust yourself. And this is what I did. In my mind, I was like, I got to trust the process. And I knew, looking at my data, I hadn't gone over my calories. Like, I knew I was accurately tracking everything. So I had to keep on going. But I was paying attention. Also paying attention to salt content, because girl, you and me and the pickles. I like my pickles. I like salt on my food. I love to have some pretzels sometimes. So popcorn and salt. These things I was paying attention to, because yes, those are causing the fluctuations, but they're not causing long-term, gaining fat or whatever. But I didn't allow, the point I want to make is that for that first 2 to 3 weeks, when it just seemed like the scale wasn't budging, I did not allow it to determine what I was doing next. I expected the fluctuations. I also had to keep reminding myself that I am already pretty lean, and it's possible that the scale won't move hardly at all, if at all, because I'm still strength training and I'm bringing intensity when I do. Another thing that has taken a hit for me is incomplete workouts. So that was something else I had to take a look at. It's a season I'm going through. So I reminded myself of that. I also reminded myself that fat loss is not linear, and we've got to keep on going. And, I say this because a lot of women, if they're really doing these things, they're really accurately tracking everything and nothing's happening, you just got to keep going. It depends on your metabolism, and you just keep going. If after 30 days you have been tracking accurately and everything, now we've got to take a look at it. Right now I'm talking about the strategy. I don't want to get into that right now. But just know that I knew my strategy was on. You got to have the right strategy, okay? But when I know my strategy is on, I can trust my strategy. I can trust myself. I know that what I'm doing is accurate. It's the right thing. So I trusted it. So there was no, I don't know if I'm making progress. I don't know, whether I am or not. I knew I could trust that I was doing all the things, and I was accurately doing it, and I was doing it consistently. So I wasn't asking myself, why isn't this working? I was just looking at the data and being like clinical about it all. I would say I'd be asking myself, well, am I really being accurate here? Or am I taking a few bites after I measure? Like we can do sometimes, right? Being very honest and accurate with ourselves. So that has to be the question. Not necessarily am I being honest with myself. Forget that, because there's emotions tied to that. Am I being accurate with my tracking? Am I being accurate? And yes, I was. So I didn't need to be getting into the drama of things. There's no need for that. I stayed with the data. So I trust the process, and I trust myself. As I reflect on this mini cut, I realize, I talk about trusting the process a lot. When when people say, well, I'm doing everything, I'm like, well, just keep going. When we say keep on going, go, oh yeah, keep going. Well, you better be keep going with the right strategy. Otherwise, keep going and doing the wrong strategy, not going to work out, right? So what really needs to happen, I think a lot of times, is not just trusting the process, but trusting ourselves. So I trust the science, and I trust that the healthy calorie deficit works. It's worked for me. It's worked for many of my clients, like all my clients. It works. Okay. It's a scientific method. So, and I trust that my fitness and what I'm putting out there for my strength training, my walk jogs, whatever I'm doing, my cycling, I trust that that's the activity level. That's what I need right now. I trust all those things. But there is another kind of trust that I think has been quietly growing in myself over the years and needs to grow in you and in each of us. And that's the kind of trust where we can trust ourselves. And I can trust myself to stay the course. If I'm not staying the course for some reason, let's just say it's just not happening because too much of my mental energy is being taken up by lifey life, I will remove myself from the process for a period of time. I'll be like, you know what, this is not the time and I need to focus on being in maintenance or whatever. But that wasn't the case for me. But I can trust myself. And this is a huge part. Women are not able to trust themselves. And so I trust myself not to freak out. I trust myself not to abandon the plan or abandon myself whenever I'm not seeing immediate results. Because I also know that results are happening even if I'm not seeing them. I trust it. I know it's working. And I can trust myself to keep following through long enough to see the process working. And I realize that for myself, it's something that has happened throughout the years because we do need evidence that something is working for us to keep going. And I've learned that. I have the evidence. I know this works. And so I trust. And I trust myself. And the longer we do this and the more repetitions we get, the more mental reps we get in it, the more we learn to trust ourselves. Trust yourself. I think this is huge. I want to encourage you. I want to nudge you to trust yourself more. I hope you're listening closely. I really want you to trust yourself more. You can trust yourself. Deep down inside, you know what needs to happen for you. You don't need external validation. You really can trust yourself because you know. And so when we trust ourselves and then we take action in that, as scary as it feels, we're going to learn to trust ourselves even more. Has that ever happened? Has that happened to you recently? Have you kind of not been sure? You weren't sure, you were self-doubting, but you did it anyway and it worked? That's what I'm talking about. It's in your gut. Okay, let's go into this part now. What beliefs now guide my personal decisions? There's a lot of beliefs that I can talk about here. I believe that the progress can be happening, like I said, before I can see it. I believe that one high calorie day does not erase weeks of my consistency. I believe that. I know it. I believe that the scale is information. It's data. It's not something for me to base my feelings on. It's not a judgment. I believe that healthy habits outperform any perfect week. There's just no such thing as perfection. I believe in consistency because consistency is always going to beat intensity. So one perfect day, great, right? That doesn't matter if there's a lot of days that are not so great. We want to have consistency. This is why I'm always saying show up imperfectly, and you're getting the reps in. You're getting better and better. I believe every time I honor my commitment to myself, that I've made to myself, I have strengthened my self-trust. Same thing that can happen for you. So if those beliefs were not there during these 32 days, it would have been so easy for me to throw in the towel and not continue, or It's good enough, right? That's just good enough. I'm just settling. I'm just going to settle here. It's good enough. I'm going to convince myself that it's good enough. But even though deep down inside, it's not for me. And I'm saying good enough. You are good enough. Everybody's good enough. But what I mean is like where we will settle and we don't believe that we deserve and that we can achieve more. There's that part of it. And so I just wanted to share that. If I didn't have this different way of thinking, this is why so many women give up before they see results. And then they try again. And then every single time they try, and then they quit, and then they try and they quit. What's happening? The very opposite thing is happening. The thing where it's losing trust. We're losing trust in ourselves. So I really just wanted to share this, my personal experience with all of this, because I realized that I do share a lot of strategy. I've been sharing a lot of strategy for years when it comes to fat loss. Track your nutrition, get enough protein, get optimal protein, make sure you're strength training on a plan, make sure you're getting your steps in, stay active, sleep well, recover well, manage your stress, all those things. And yes, all of those things matter. But if you cannot stay consistent with those things, then what, right? Then we're going to stay stuck and we're going to be frustrated. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be the woman that gets to enjoy her life daily, even while you're on your journey, and you can trust yourself and you can trust the process, and you can know that it's consistency. It's showing up every day, your best. That's going to get you where you want to go. And I haven't spent nearly as much time talking about what's going on in my mind and the things that have shifted for me. And that's the conversation that's often missing, because I know that my thoughts, your thoughts, our thoughts are influencing our behaviors, and they're just thoughts. And these are things we have control over, because our behaviors become our habits, one way or the other. Whether it's a healthy habit or it's not a healthy habit, our behaviors are going to create those habits. And those habits over time become our lifestyle. And that's the part that I wanted to open up and share, is that my thoughts are, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow through. Not because I'm worried about what somebody else is thinking or everybody's watching me. No, because when I make a decision to do something, it's a commitment that I've made to myself. And it's not about, what if I can't do it? It's not about that. It's about, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And this mindset of let's see what happens, let's get curious and let's make a plan and let's just go for it. That is way more empowering than, I'm afraid to make this commitment because what if I don't follow through? No, change this thinking. It's not about what if I don't follow through. Because if you say, what if I don't follow through, or I'll try, then you're already setting yourself up to not follow through. Okay, make a commitment that you're going to show up imperfectly. Make a commitment that you're going to keep showing up and you're going to keep learning and growing and asking better questions, asking people, not doing this alone. Because I know as an overachiever, high-performing woman, we think we have to have it all figured out. And oh my gosh, if I ask somebody, wow, what does that make me look like, right? No, have to get the ego out of the way and just know that you're not meant to do this alone. We're all here for each other. I'm here sharing, being vulnerable. It's so freeing when we can say, this is what happened. And we're not tied down to judgment and shame and guilt. It's like, no, this is just what happened. I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to learn what am I thinking that's causing this behavior, and how can I shift my thinking so I can have a different behavior, and let's change this pattern. It's all about those patterns. So I wanted to just share all this because this 30 days gave me some different thoughts, especially with things not being like they were before. But I had to realize that, man, the season I'm in is completely different than the season I have been in past previous mini cuts. I was even thinking to myself in the early days of my journey, when I would go to the gym, excuse me, like that beer. When I would go to the gym in the very early wee hours of the morning every day, I was like consistent. But I was forced to go first thing in the morning because the kids were here and they had to be at school at a certain time and I had to be back in time. And sometimes Brooke would come with me. Sometimes Chase would come with me. Sometimes they'd both come with me. Sometimes Lindsay would go with me. But we had to be back here at a certain time to prepare to get ready for the day and leave for school and work and all that. So I had a commitment that I was like, I am going to go to the gym. So it had to happen in the morning. But I was so consistent, and there weren't any serious crises happening for me during that time. So just kind of like, you can't just compare like apples to oranges. It's like a different season. So for me, this last 30 days is like, wow, this is the season. This has been a season for me. It's been tough. My mom passed away. And I've been dealing with a lot of stuff since. And, I got a puppy and now I'm taking care of another dog. And I'm managing Rock That Fitness in a different way than I had in the past. So I have a different structure going on in the background when it comes to managing things and people and stuff. So there's a lot of differences this time around for the past 30 days. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I already printed out my next 30 days. It's day number 2. So we can call it day 32 for me. But I'm going to continue on with my mini cut for the next, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. But right now I'm thinking it's going to be at least, I'm going to shoot for the next 30 days, honestly. But I know that I'm going to have a week in there where we're going to have a little vacation time getaway. And that's okay. I'll just keep that in mind, right? When I'm looking at my data and what's going on and what happened. So I say that because I know that many of you have trips that are planned, things coming up. When you're on a fat loss journey and you're in a cut and you're doing this, just don't think you have to wait. Don't wait to do it. Just keep going because life is always lifing and it's okay. So for me, I know that during that time, I may not be as strict, right? But I'm still going to track everything, and I don't have to, but I want to, and so I'm going to continue on. Because what's really cool and exciting, which is funny, is that I didn't really notice any results in my mini cut until about, I don't know, a few days ago, like probably day 26, 27 was when I started to feel the results for myself. So I hope that gives you some context to, for yourself, wherever you are on your fat loss journey. Well, that girlfriend, that's about it. That's what I have. I don't think I have any more in my notes. So in closing, like I said, I'm already going to be rolling into this next 30 days. I have a vacation coming up and life is going to continue to happen. And so then the scale is going to continue to fluctuate. And that's how it goes. But none of these change the way that I'm showing up for myself. I'm committed to myself because nobody else is responsible for me. And only I can feel good. And only I am going to be living with the consequences or the reward of whatever I end up doing, right? So that's really what I wanted to share today. It's not my strategy, but it's my thinking. And hopefully there's something in there that maybe helps. And, there were some really tough times so far in this last 30 days. And I even would go to the gym and only do half my workout. Not because that's all I wanted to do. It's like there's this urge to do the whole workout, but it's where I'm at. And I have just learned, when we just learn to accept, when we just accept, it just makes it easier, like less mental load and energy going into feeling disappointed and mad and angry. Like all that energy is wasted. Just move it over. This is my thinking. I'm not going to waste my time complaining and being mad and angry. I'm so happy, grateful for what I do get to do. And take that energy back and make it good. Make the day good. Do your best. Do your best. So that's it. That's it, girl. Again, I want to remind you, if, the stinking thinking is something that's gotten in your way for a long time and you're ready to level up in your own personal growth and you're ready to do some rewiring of the old programming that has been keeping you stuck, you don't know what it is, you're frustrated with it, and you're ready to level up for yourself, then 21-day Rockstar Rewired Reset is for you. So go to the show notes and sign up for it, because I know that when we can rewire the way that we think, we're going to be able to not just follow through with the strategies, but we're going to get the results that we want, and we're going to be able to maintain them. Not white knuckling it, but with ease. Doesn't that feel good, right? Feels really good. And that's it. I love you, girl. I hope that something in here spoke to you. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. You have a choice to believe or not to believe. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather just believe, because it feels so much better. What's the worst can happen if I believe? It doesn't work out. Okay. Do something else. Change. All right. Remember, what do I always say? Self-care, self-love, all day, every day, in every way. Do I have your word? Good. Let's rock.